Welcome back to Jtwes. We are planting cotton today. I was excited, got my trailer yesterday. I was real excited about that. And I think I want to go ahead and plant the cotton. I know I put it in beds yesterday, but I want to go ahead and plant it. There's quite a good chance of showers, even chance of showers this evening, and there may come up one this evening. It's a lot of little gray clouds around. So we're going to use a grain sorghum plate just like we did last year, and I think that's going to work out just fine. It had a good stand on this piece last year, but all this is going to be the plow day field, of course, this fall. I'll probably see if we can try to cut it and let me roll it flat and get it flat and be ready for that. But this year at plow day, I told Sam I intend on, even if I have to get some volunteers to drive a tractor, which that probably won't be hard to do, I intend on planting some oats on it the same day and get them planted, get them in the ground, and oats or wheat, just so we got something to harvest off of it this time the next year, and it'll be flat already. And then what we can do the next plow day, we can just plow in the oat stubble, hay, or whatever, you know, put all that back into the soil. But we're gonna get this cotton planted, and I got some watermelons we want to plant, and I think we need to give this tractor a little bit of a bath. It's not had a bath all spring. It's had dust on it and grease comes out in different places, and so I think we're going to try to give it a bath too when we get home. Somebody asked me on email, they had a grease leaking from a hole up underneath the tractor, one of the casting holes, and it's probably a seal on one of the drop down housings. I feel like would probably be what it is. But you know, I told the fellow, look, you know, all you can do is just keep an eye on your levels and keep rolling. You know, if it's just dripping here and there a little bit, because a small drip will make it look like it's a gallon bucket full of them. But you know, that's about all you can do on these things. You know, I could rebuild it now, and I could probably seal it up for a year, couple years. But if you use them hard, after a couple years, they're going to start leaking again a little bit, and I guess that's just the nature of it. But I guess with today's technology, we probably can do a little better than they did when they built it. But there always seem like to have a leak somewhere here and there. Waiting on my cotton seed. Sam went to get it, and he's going to bring it, and we're going to fill up and head across that field and plant this cotton, watermelon, and have a good time. Oh, I know I was going to tell you. So, Lord willing, all the corn we plant next year is going to start out in a bed. I just really like it. And you guys that's watched the channel a while, some of you haven't watched the channel a while, so you know, I'll get these questions. I will knock that bed off with this scrape blade as I plant it. And it kind of squares it up and shapes it up. And what it does, it creates a uniform planting surface for that planter. It's all the same height. The planter doesn't have no ups and downs, and it actually rolls clods out of the way too. Makes it a little smoother. And so I didn't do that this year. I wished I would have on that Jimmy Red. I think the very first planting on it would have been a lot better if I'd have had bedded that and let it sit, you know, a week or so, and you know, all the rain we had this spring, and catch a dry day and knock it off and plant it. I think it would have been a lot better. Plus it had a deal where it set in some water for about a day. I mean, it really set in water, and it would have never done that like this. Not that I'm not planting in a bed. I am planting a little bit taller than what normal flat ground would be, but it's not about that much taller. It's not a whole lot, but you know, 6-7 inches can mean a world of difference when it comes to a lot of water. And so, Lord willing, if you know, we get a chance to plant again next year, we're hopefully going to plant everything, all the corn and everything in beds. And I just like it like that. You know, is that something viable commercially? Probably not. You probably wouldn't be planting one row anyway if you was doing like a commercial crop of corn. But you know, planting 2-3 acres or something like that, yeah, it's viable. And you know, especially if it gets to stand where you need it to be. But that's what we're going to do. And I just wanted to explain that for the guys that you know, see me right now planting this cotton and knocking down the bed, you know, like, well, why is he planting it in a bed? Well, just watch it closely. It's not quite a bed when I'm done. But all right, we got to get filled up with some seed.
Dad didn't say it in the video, but we're planting a watermelon here, and I wasn't watching the live, but I think it's called like rattlesnake red watermelon or something. I'm sure you guys who watch the live should know what it's called. Y'all are better listeners than me, but here's some watermelon planting footage.
All right, we got the cotton planted, we got Georgia strike watermelon planted, and it's time to give this thing a bath. Now, I normally try to wash this thing after all the planting and stuff anyway, which we're done planting, I think, unless something comes up that I don't know about. We want to wash the planter off. So about 2 months ago, company contacted me and said, hey man, can we send you some degreaser wash, and you know, you try it out. And I was honest with them. I said, well listen, I'm not ready to wash anything yet, because I try to do that after I'm done planting. And the fellow said, hey, that's fine, we'd like to send it to you anyway. And they sent me some product, and I'll show it to you here in a second. Y'all probably guess what it is before I tell you. But what I was going to tell you, the funny part was he offered to send me some hats and t-shirts, and I emailed him back. I said, hey, I'd gladly do your product, but I'm not much of a t-shirt wearer, and you guys that watch the channel a lot, you know I'm not, so you kind of know the inside joke there that I'm not a big t-shirt wearer. But I hope I didn't, you know, hurt his feelings. I didn't want his t-shirt, but it's nothing. It wouldn't matter what the t-shirt was. I wouldn't have wore it. But anyway, the company been around a while, and we forget about them sometimes, but super clean. And so I told him, I said, yeah, send me some stuff, and you can pick it up at Walmart, and I'm pretty sure maybe Dollar General. There's bunches of places. You guys see it on the shelf. You've seen it. You know about it. But sometimes we forget about these good, simple products like this. But I'm looking forward to trying it, because we're going to try the aerosol and the spray. But the aerosol we're going to try on places like here. So we're going to coat that good and let that soak in a minute or two. Get here on this gear right here. This gear. And I've been looking forward to doing this anyway. Now, I know it's not going to get some of this stuff. I want to do aerosol on the side of this engine here. Make sure you got plenty of ventilation, guys. A lot of that grease on that bell housing, that sticks on there good. Up in here.
Look, you see it working. It's getting dirty.
Oh yeah, it's working.
It's like sliding it off. This ain't gonna be too clean.
The block's still a little bit warm, but that's okay. Maybe that'll help it work a little better. We'll spray some on these grease points where I grease the arms. And this is not so much a video, guys, about how well will it clean. You know, my subscribers are some of the smartest subscribers out there. And you guys know you just can't spray something on something and it just come glassy clean, especially something this dirty like what I got here. This is just gonna help break it up a little bit. Some of these parts that I grease a lot of is what we're after. I like the way it wraps around. I like the way the aerosol kind of wraps around the bolt.
You gotta use the spray, man.
I'm gonna use spray on the other side. Someone once told me to make sure my grease gun was clean before I greased the back of this planter right here. And I told him, I said, it don't make a whole lot of difference because so much dirt gets in there anyway. Usually if we're greasing wheel bearings or something like that, we try to make sure we're good on. All right, let's get some on the hydraulics. This is good for sticking to that bell housing. If some of you are trying to restore one, you see how that's sticking to that bell housing there? That's real good for that. Get in there behind those parts. I really like the foaming. I'm sure the other's good too. Okay, Sammy's gonna get mad at me if we don't try the spray.
I was about to say something.
We'll use a spray right here. Put it on that steering, let it soak in some of that steering. There's a lot of grease right there. And guys, I'm just trying to get the spots that have collected dust and the spots we keep greased up. That's what I'm working on right now. Where we'll put oil in it at. This thing right here has gathered a lot of dust. But I've been looking forward to, making this video because I've been ready to wash this thing a little bit. You can certainly see it working. Pulling off that grease, just dripping, boy. A little more of that bell housing right there. A little bit around the gas tank. Fuel sloshes out of this tractor some. A little bit around the exhaust right there. You can see that fuel breaking down just right off of it. You can see where I'm spraying the fuel off. Let's get this gearbox some right here. Get the hammer while we're at it. Get in here a little bit. These are probably some of my worst spots. Okay. We're about ready to crank up a power washer and hit it a little bit. Oh man, that's cleaning that good. That's exhaust leak running rich coming down on the hood there. Gotta check some fluids in this thing here pretty soon, like the next couple of days. And so that's another reason why I want to do this. All right, let's get this started. I forgot that plate was still red, guys. I hadn't seen that plate red in several years now. I haven't seen this red in several years. Looks like a new planter. We're gonna spray a few more spots off camera. Especially on this engine block side, it did real well over here, and it took a lot of that fuel has built up right here. It was solid black right here, and it had built up over several years. That was solid black. So yes, the arms look brand new again. So we're back brand new on my arms. It needed that. It degreases well. Hope y'all enjoyed planting the cotton and the watermelon. Those are Georgia rattlesnake, I think I already said. Let's look at one thing before we go. I know some of you probably are watching the video that's coming out tonight of me getting the trailer, and you're probably saying, you need to paint it. You need to paint it. Well, I thought about that too. And it just so happened I remembered I had a gallon of gloss black Rust-Oleum. And I called Sammy today. I said, Sammy, I got a job for you. So Sammy painted the trailer for me. It's brush painted, but it blends in well with the metal. It's not like it's sheet metal on a car. And it blends in well, so we opted to paint it. So now we just need to put boards on the whole thing. I'm gonna do boards on the whole thing. Would love to have, like I said in that video, you know, Mike was more outdoors to Morgan's and my neighbor, I'd be hitting them up for some red oak. But we'll get some boards put on it, and it's gonna make a nice little trailer. Just wanted to show y'all that before we left you. Y'all have a good week, good day. Thank y'all. God bless you. God loves you. We'll see you.